Hi there, Leos. Welcome to my channel, The Angel Witch Tarot. So let's start off with the intuitive oracle cards, and this reading is for the week of 2nd March to the 8th of March 2026. So let's start. So the intuitive oracle cards. Let's see what the spirits want you to know regarding your intuition, the light within. It says, you carry a light that guides you through darkness. Trust it. Alright? And then the second card we have is Divine Alignment. It says, align with higher frequencies to enhance your intuitive senses. Alright. So, let's start with the tarot. 1 second. So we've got two cards here. The first one is the Seven of Wands upright, and the second one is the Sun in reverse. The third one we have the Ace of Pentacles upright. So the upright Seven of Wands talks about challenges, competitions, protection, perseverance, being in a defensive state and maintaining control of the situations. And then we have the Sun, which is in reverse. So it talks about you feeling down currently, or you will be feeling down. It talks about the inner child. It talks about being overly optimistic, negativity, depression, sadness, arrogance, and carelessness. Right? And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is upright, which talks about abundance, manifestation, opportunities, new career or financial opportunities, prosperity, and probably going into a new venture, right? Or starting a new venture. So let's move on. So we've got Justice and the High Priestess. All right. So the Justice talks about, like it says in the name, justice, fairness, truth, clarity, equality, balance, the cause and effect, and the law. And then we have the High Priestess upright, which talks about intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, the divine feminine energy. It's telling you to trust yourself and your sensitivity, your purity, and your high morals. So you need to trust yourself here, all right? And then we have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords, which is talking about all the painful things that are ending, your deep wounds, the betrayal that you felt, the loss, the crisis you were in, the failure, the collapse, and the defeat. You're going to defeat everything. You're going to make the bad things collapse. It's going to collapse. It's going to end, right? So let's get two overall cards here. We've got the Devil upright, which talks about temptations, addictions, your shadow self, your attachments, restrictions, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, and codependency, which could also lead towards toxicity. Right? And then we have the Magician upright, which is all about manifestation, action, creation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. Right? So the one here is about the beginning of the projects and creative endeavors. Could also be talking about new beginnings and fresh starts, because you need to use all the resources available to you, because they're in front of you for a reason. You need to use them. You need to make use of your resources that are available to you. it's a connection between the heaven and the earth. So because this connection between the divine and the humans, because the hands are going up and down, a candle and just pointing towards the ground. So it's talking about that as well. All right, so let's move on to the next card deck. We have alone time. It says spend some time alone. It will help you gain clarity on your relationship. We have surprise. Romantic surprises are on the horizon. Be open to them. Alright, so now for the next card deck, I'd like you to think of someone. If you're already a subscriber, you know what I'm talking about. Think of someone. If you're new, hi. So think of somebody. It could be yourself. We're going to find out what's in their heart, what they're unable to say, what they're hiding, right? So let's find out. Alright, shall we start? Okay, the first one we have is cuts both ways. It says good and bad aspects mixed. It's a blessing and it's a division, right? And then we have demanding, unrealistic expectations, high maintenance, being a diva. So the last card deck before we move on to the Astro Dice. Let's see what the Spirit Animals guidance says. We have the Happy Dragonfly, which is all about expression, joy and understanding. It says glittering and flying fairies, show me the way to my deepest desires. You have to recite this so that you can get the guidance of the spirit animal on the card, right? Alright, so let's get the second one. We have the hardworking bee, which is all about work ethic, community and drive. It says you have the power to realize your dreams. Alright, so let's move on to the overall energy of the week and see the Astro Dice, what it says. We've got Libra in the South Node in the 5th house. So the South Node is all about the life path that you followed up until this moment. The past life baggages, the karmic lessons that you've learned, or the lessons that you are learning. It talks about familiarity, self-introspection, the gifts and qualities that you have already mastered in your previous life, which you've brought on to this life, right? And the fears that you need to overcome. And then we have Libras. So Libra is all about that balance, the charming energy, the peacefulness, diplomaticness, being easygoing, harmonious, relationship oriented, artistic, intelligent, beautiful, friendly, indecisive, superficial, gullible, justice, passive aggressive, thoughtfulness. You probably into the law and order, the debates, and having open enemies. We also have the Justice here, which is a Libra card. So that makes sense here. And then the 5th house is all about fertility, pregnancy or children. It could also be talking about creativity, hobbies, and interests, romance, datings, the spirits, the joy, the drama, the self-expressiveness, and probably being interested in gambling. Alright, so this is the reading for Leos. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye!